I just wanted to say we don't know if he knew her history before
Thank thank
marrying her. They were only together for 6 months. And even though she says she did a background check, we don't necessarily know if he went that far to do a background check on her and see the history of her and her children. I think when the niece brought up the thing about her having a case against her abusing her child, I think that was before him. And then with the SA allegations, I feel that that was in the now, right? Like she's building her case against him. And so now that's something extra she's put out. I don't think she came right to him and told him, this is how you made me feel. I think you SA'd me, you know? So to
Oh,
give him the benefit of the doubt, I don't think he knew these things. I think he married this woman, and just like we thought with him, he might have had a mask on. She had a mask on. She played a role because she wanted to live the lifestyle that she felt he could provide for her. And then once she got in that lifestyle, things started to change. If once again we're assuming that the niece's story is correct, once she didn't start getting the things that she wanted, she changed her behavior.
Wait
Her
a minute.
character changed.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, Di, are you saying that you think that this man went ahead and had kids? Wow. She was at the same time she was accusing him of essaying her early in the relationship.
that's how I interpreted the story based on, but
You
when I just
you
heard Ty
believe this
speak, she
man?
said something different. So if we're gonna go based on how Ty presented it and how she interpreted the story and how like when she was saying certain things back to me, I wouldn't think that's the case. But when she was kind of saying it, I thought she was saying it based on a timeline order. Like this
Mm-hmm.
happened, then this happened, then this happened. And as these things was happening, it got to a point where it got to this point, and that's when he said, you know what, since you don't want me to protect my kids and you won't let me protect my girls by removing your son, then I'm just gonna remove you and fight for my kids. I
No,
thought that it was,
no.
oh, you feel me, the little boy came out, he said that something was happening to him, and she didn't say when it came out. She didn't say if that came out
Yeah,
during their
she does.
marriage or if it came out during her last relationship. So the fact that the niece knew about it made me assume that she like it happened during their marriage.
She knows about it because it's an ongoing case. So they're gathering evidence against her. So this is probably all information he's finding out as she's putting out these allegations against him and he's building his
And
case.
how long have they been married?
We don't know.
No
It
longer than
had to
Um,
be a few years
And I
because
and
six.
I
Hold on, hold
And
on,
that's why
y'all.
I think the kids, the boys' age is important because then we can kind of
J,
gauge
J,
And
how
even while
JR,
things
we're
happen.
talking,
Yeah,
you guys, and we got to always say allegedly, because even as we're talking, let's just say the little boy didn't do anything. We're sitting here accusing a kid because he too could be a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we don't want to make it tacky. We can have conversation, but it's got to
so
be allegedly.
JR, before you play the
Allegedly.
next video, I did want to address something that Di said, right? And this kind of put a lot of things in perspective. So we're asking the question of, well, why aren't the kids being removed from the house? Because currently at this moment, these are all still allegations. And I'm glad that Di told her story and tried, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be, I'm not being
I'm not
insensitive on this.
sensitive about it. Go
Right.
ahead.
If based on accusations, they could have taken Di's kids right out the house, despite the fact she done nothing wrong. If the court system played out the way that we're saying that it should on this panel, her kids will be out the house until further notice.
They
And
did
then
it
she would have
right.
had to prove that she would have to go to court and give them all this information and have all her
I get
ducks in
what
a
you're
row.
saying.
Then she would have got her kids back. And who knows how long? She said this happened, what, 2 years?
but the difference in
Sweeney, the
these
only
two,
reason why they didn't take her was because there's somebody here as well. So they do interviews with the children and things of that nature.
No,
So
no,
that's
I get that.
but
I'm
yeah.
just I'm just
I feel
saying
like
like
the
how
biggest difference between
if
the
we're
two
saying
I see what you're saying,
if
Sweeney.
we're
it's
saying that if
actual
Yeah, I get
evidence
what he's
of them
saying.
being sexually assaulted, though. They went to the hospital. They have documentation
Mm.
proving that they were assaulted. Like, that's not a question. Were they assaulted? Were they
oh
not
yeah,
assaulted? We
true.
know they were assaulted. With Di's situation, they were trying to figure out if what the girl was even saying was actually happening to the child. They had no actual
Fair
proof of
enough.
that. We have proof that this is happening to these children. So regardless, the children, the two girls at the very least, should be taken out of the home and placed in a separate place until they figure out what's really going on, because the children are being assaulted, whether it's by the mama, the daddy, the brother, the cousin, the uncle, whoever. You know, I feel like that's the biggest difference between the two.
And let me just say this. A GoFundMe? Like, why? Like, what's up with the GoFundMe? Like, that's a red flag in itself, too.
Mhm.
Like, why do you have a GoFundMe? So that came out with old girl who spoke on it. That's a little, I'm concerned there. It's that's crazy to me, but, you know.
I'm about to bring Coco up so she can say something. Make sure we don't cut off. Then I'll play the video. Yeah.
Not Coco. I was about to say you was in the back chat going off. You ain't prepared. Get your ass up here and say something.
Because y'all keep on talking about, at the end of the day, that niece, like, I'm annoyed because she still, now she brought up the boys. Like, she still started accusing another kid of doing something. I know how spiteful women are. Why is she speaking up that much information for her uncle before he even says anything publicly? But you got this clad tight attorneys. Like, so why you just sit here and gave us 15 minutes? I don't understand why she knows so much and why she's so invested. Anybody can go to court, yes, public information, but for her to be given specific details like that, it's like, why you know so much? Like, you know so much and you very passionate. So like, it would make sense if she was a nanny, if she babysat, but I just feel like she got an issue with the girl too, and she also brought the other girl's kids in the situation. So I'm just gonna leave it as, we don't know the whole situation, but that ain't cool to be sitting up here going tit for tat publicly. It's okay for it ain't okay for the mom to say that her kid was assaulted, but the cousin can sit up here and accuse her son of doing it, and we just gonna sit up here and start saying, well, the boy this, the boy that. Like, nah, we still accusing the kids, and there's no factual information out there. That's
Yeah, but
how
she
I
went to
feel.
court though. She went to court, so she would have a lot of information. Not to mention she's a family member, and she's being the voice because she understands that he's being maligned. The wife has displayed some very disparaging things about her uncle, and if that were your family member, you would care enough too. So, being that he legally can't say anything because he has the open case, which she mentioned, she's being the mouthpiece because she's not held to that same standard because she's not, I guess, named in the case or a part of the case, so she could say what she wants. She could be his mouthpiece right now.
Also, we're not gonna put a son that's abusing other kids in the same category as the kids being abused. So if you come up, the mom come out here, I'm just saying, like, when we say, oh man, how dare she bring up that boy? Because if he the one that's doing the shit, and you just accuse my uncle of doing this shit, and I know it's your son.
But she just did the same thing that y'all saying the mom did. She's doing the same thing y'all said the mom did.
There's a difference between bringing up victims and bringing up a perpetrator. We're not talking about a victim in this situation.
If we're narrowing it down, which most of you guys on this panel have been talking about, if we narrow it down to a sneaky ass, fucked up, snake ass chick, yes, she is. However, at the end of the day, they still got married. These are her kids. She blames the kids. That's nasty work right there. But then the cousin comes and wants to defend her uncle. And then she brings up another kid that did something to the other kids to bring the uncle away from it. And we still don't know.
No, that's not what happened, Coco.
Like, just don't believe everything the cousin's saying, because she seemed like somebody that got too much to say about something that's not her business. That's all.
That's not what happened. What happened is the father was accused of touching the little girl. The cousin is saying no. It was never the father. It was the niece. The niece said no, it wasn't the father. It wasn't my uncle. It was the brother. And the little girl said it was the brother. That's what she's saying. She ain't saying, oh man, you want to blame my uncle for touching little kids? Well, guess what? I know something about your nephew. About your son. That ain't what happened. What she's saying is you blame my uncle, but it turned out it was your son that was actually doing it. So I think it's different.
I want to know who touching the son. I want to know where all this
only
coming
time.
from.
Oh, you know what? Only time will
I want to know
tell
who
if
touching
it's
the son
situation.
and the little girl, because that's fuck.